If you struggle with negative thoughts that just kind of show up and pop into your head, this video is for you. I'm sharing 7 different ways that you can crush automatic negative thoughts. Hi, I'm Mallory Grimste. I am a teen therapist and I'm all about helping you improve your mental health. So we all have ants, and I'm not talking about those creepy crawly bugs that pop out in the summertime. I'm talking about automatic negative thoughts. So even though ants are meant to protect us from harm, sometimes they can be really problematic, especially if they're impacting our self-esteem and confidence. That's because they will keep us from taking positive risks if we let them. While we can't always control the automatic negative thoughts that pop into our head or those first initial reactive thoughts, that's something that takes time and skill and practice. And that's where therapy can help if you're really struggling with managing automatic negative thoughts. But in the meantime, while you're working on those deeper issues, giving yourself a little bit of a break and distracting yourself from the thoughts when they're really intense and stressful can be really helpful. That way, when you go back to whatever problem is causing those automatic negative thoughts to pop up in the first place, you're a little more calmer and clearer and able to reasonably problem solve at that point. Dialectical behavior therapy breaks down their distraction coping skills into 7 different areas, and they use the acronym ACCEPTS. A stands for activities. Now this can be any sort of activity that takes up your thinking process. So this could be doing a puzzle, it could be reading a book, it could be watching a movie, it could be playing or practicing a sport or an instrument. There's lots of different activities here. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite activity is when you need to distract yourself from really stressful automatic negative thoughts. The first C is all about contributing. So when you contribute, it means that you are doing something for the greater good. Whether that is for your immediate family, for your classmates, for a loved one, for a friend, social justice at large, anything that you can do to be a part of and that's helping. So this could be writing a letter. It could be saying thank you. It could be showing up and helping out for a cause or a mission or a program that you really support. It can also be as simple as putting the dishes away without your parents asking. If you have any causes or programs that you really support and you're already contributing to, leave them in the comments below so that we can help as well. The second C is all about comparing. Now, this is one of those coping strategies that can get a little dicey. So you have to be intentional about how you use comparing. A lot of people will use the comparing coping skill to compare their experience to somebody else's, but I don't really find that helpful because it usually either leaves you feeling superior or less than somebody else, and that just doesn't feel good. I don't know, it just isn't very motivating. What I like to suggest instead when it comes to comparing is comparing your own experience to your previous or former experience in that area or to your future experience. So with teens, I know being in high school can be really miserable at times and it can feel like it's going to last forever. So when you can compare your experience now, knowing that high school ends for everyone, hopefully successfully, taking a moment to consider your future after high school can be really beneficial. An example of comparing to your past is keeping track of your progress. When it comes to something like exercising or working out, it takes time to build flexibility and stamina and endurance. So by keeping track of where you're starting and where you're growing can be really motivating and beneficial as well, so that you're tracking according to your own progress and not somebody else's. I didn't really start working out and taking my physical health seriously until a few years ago. I kept finding myself comparing my personal physical fitness to other people who had been working out for years and decades, which wasn't really fair. So it kept kept me from making the moves to start working out. But once I did, I went from not being able to do a simple basic roll-up to completing a Tough Mudder race. That's pretty amazing. E is about using your other emotions to distract yourself from your negative thoughts. You can do this by watching a scary movie or a comedy. You can do something a little silly like dancing around. You can do really anything that's going to shift your mood into another emotional state. And what this will do is it will shake up your thinking process a bit so that you're not getting stuck in one way of thinking. Pushing away is a favorite coping strategy of teens, and that's because it can look like you're pushing away negative thoughts when in actuality you are avoiding the situation, and that's not healthy. So pushing away means taking some time or space away from the thoughts with the intention of coming back to them. So I know a lot of teens will tell me, I was pushing away my negative thoughts by not working on my homework. But if you never go back to working on your homework, that's not really pushing away. That's just delaying the inevitable. So you can push away your negative thoughts by journaling or creatively expressing them. You can write it in a letter and put it under your pillow to reflect and look at later when you're not in such an intense emotional state. You can vent or talk to a friend. You can even take a nap. Using other thoughts to replace your automatic negative thoughts is an awesome distraction coping strategy. You can do this by playing some thinking games, like reciting the alphabet backwards, Z through A, or counting backwards from 100 to 0 by 7. It's really difficult. You can recite song lyrics or a poem or a passage that's really important to you. Anything to replace your current negative thoughts with new thoughts is a great way to distract yourself from them. Focusing on the way your different sensations feel can be really helpful and distracting as well. I have a wonderful video about 50 things that you can do when you're bored at home that actually goes into greater detail about some of the ways that you can use your different sensations to distract yourself. So I really encourage you to check that out next. Make sure that you put any coping skills that you find useful and helpful on your Coping Ahead plan. If you don't have one already, you can download a free PDF version by clicking the link in the description box below. And if you found this information useful and helpful, please be sure to share this video because you never know who you could be helping in the process. Thanks for watching.